The governor will be with us in a minute. My name is Stephanie Click, and I'm the state representative for House District 91, and you're in House District 91.
That's
cool. Who has voted already? Awesome. Well, when you get done today, if you haven't voted, if you go right up Beach Street to Western Center, there's an early voting location at Summer Glen Library, and I hope you'll all go vote today if you haven't voted already. Thanks for coming out on such a beautiful morning and helping us keep Tarrant red. I'm going to introduce one of my colleagues, Representative Craig Goldman. He represents part of the southwest part of the county, but thanks to everybody for being here.
Good morning, everybody. What a beautiful day. What a great day. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Let's thank Stephanie Click for an incredible job she does in the Texas State House. For all of those of you who live in her district, you have one of the best state representatives in the Texas State House. She does an amazing job. She's extremely well respected. Thank you for sending her back, and keep sending her back. It's extremely important you do so. She represents you extremely well. Thank you, Stephanie. So Stephanie does a great job. Now I need to talk about the job that you need to do. How many have not voted yet? A lot. So for all of you who have not voted yet, have you heard the news? Tarrant County's going blue. Yeah, it is. It is. Read the emails that the local Democrats are sending out of state. They say as long as you send money here, Tarrant County will go blue. It's in all the emails. It's in all the reports. Federal money is coming in from California, from New York, all over the country into Tarrant County because they actually believe they can turn County blue, that Governor Abbott is going to lose Tarrant County. We're not going to let that happen, are we? And so the job you have to do is, if you have not voted yet, Stephanie just told you there's a voting location right down the street. You can vote anywhere in Tarrant County where there's a voting location. Go out and vote today. Go out and vote tomorrow. Be sure and get out to vote before Tuesday, or if not on Tuesday. Not only you, make sure your family does, make sure your friends do. It's extremely important we all go vote. If we do that, we keep Tarrant County red, and we tell all those naysayers out there that we will stay red and Tarrant County will not be blue. So thank you for going out and vote. For those of you who have, you've done your job. Thank you to those who will be voting. You're going to do your job. And let me talk to you about someone who does an extremely exceptional job in Austin, and that's State Senator Kelly Hancock. The terrific news for Tarrant County is after redistricting, Senator Hancock picked up even more of Tarrant County. And that's tremendous news for us. Kelly is by far one of the hardest working members in the Texas State Legislature, in the Texas State House. We're lucky to have him as our state senator. Ladies and gentlemen, Kelly Hancock.
Thank you, Craig. And I will tell you, representing you in the Texas Senate, with the change in redistricting, I'm now running to represent. Okay, let's go ahead and say it. I'm going to represent about 2/3 of Tarrant County, and really exciting. But one of the things that's most exciting about Tarrant County is the wonderful representatives that you have in the Texas House. A phenomenal group of guys. We work, and gals, sorry. You know, it's just a figure of speech. I'm not into the pronoun thing. But we work really well together, not just while we're in Austin, but when we're at home. We actually like each other and enjoy working together. We work with each other on legislation that's good for their district, that's good for the county, and so we have a great relationship, and you've sent a wonderful team for Tarrant County down to Austin, and we look forward to doing that again next session. You know, there's nothing better than to get up bright and early on a beautiful morning, so let's thank God for allowing us to have this where we can have it outside. You're not getting rained on. He obviously knew this was going to happen way before ahead of time, orchestrated this day just for Republicans to meet Governor Abbott in Tarrant County. That's why we have this beautiful weather. But it is exciting because nobody gets more excited for election day than Republicans. And so that's why we have a great turnout, is we know. And the reason we get excited for elections is we know that there's nothing more important we do. Nothing more important we do other than accepting Jesus Christ, is to get out and vote. I have really a scripture that I've ran on. My wife was asking me, why are we going to do this? And I quoted her, Ephesians 5:15-16, that says, to be as the wise, not as the unwise, make the most of every opportunity, for the days are evil. You know what's evil about election day is if you don't vote, you allow evil to happen. So what we have to do is make the most of every opportunity. And what the most means is that not only do you get out and vote, but you encourage others to get out and vote. Mm-hmm. And you know the thing that you have this time around is, while there are those that are going to say that Tarrant County is going to turn, that Texas is going to turn blue, let me tell you what's going to happen this time that we need to get excited about, and that our governor has been supporting and been behind and financially helped back, is we're going to turn South Texas. And that is an effort made by all of us. But let me not underscore the fact that the governor, from a year ago, this has been a target, it has been an effort. Republicans have been down there working, not just on election day, but a year ago, down there working, recruiting local candidates where there have never been local candidates before. Let me tell you, they have districts where never have they had a primary because there were no Republicans running, and therefore some of those Democrats never filed their financial reports. But guess what's happening now? The media are being alerted to the fact that they've been not following the law. They've not filed their election reports. You know why? Because not only are Republicans now running in South Texas, but Republicans are going to win in South Texas from the congressional level all the way down to local commissioners and local judges. And you know why that is? Because we have policies that matter, and that homes and families and grandparents can understand. See, our policies focus, and nobody's done a better job of focusing on the economy, on jobs, because that's what funds our schools, that's what funds our transportation, that's what grows the state, and that's why people are flocking to the state of Texas. Because of those policies. And we have a governor that ever since he's been in office has won what they call the Governor's Cup. And the Governor's Cup focuses on the governor who has led the strongest and the best economy in the nation. And the reason that's important is because when you have jobs, you have families that stick together. When you have jobs, you have an economy that can grow. We can fund our schools. And it says a lot. When you look at the state of Texas, we're going to go into session with a $26 billion surplus. Now think about that for a little bit. As you hear, actually you won't hear about Democrat states that are going broke and they're upside down in their budgets. But we have a balanced budget and we have a surplus. And because of legislation that was passed last session by House members,
Here, hold that. I'm trying to read.
and I was fortunate enough to carry, not only do we have a new spending cap that limits it to population inflation, we put our money where our mouth is. We pass population inflation. Why? Not for us as government officials, but for you, our constituents. And a provision in that allows us to actually return your money to you without it going against our budget for the first time in decades. And Governor Abbott has made that promise, and when he's elected on election day, and Texas does turn, but Texas turns blue counties and blue elected officials into Republican red elected officials. That's the only turning that's going to happen this time. We're going to go into session and we're going to do what's right for you. You know why? Because we have a governor that's going to lead the way in doing that. He's a friend of mine. He's a friend of the House members. He's a governor that does more than just lead the state of Texas. And frankly, one of the things people don't talk about much is Texas, because of our vastness and because of our geography, we have some of the worst natural disasters. We have a little bit of everything. In West Texas, we have fires. In South Texas, we have floods. In North Texas, we have hail. And one of the things being close to the governor that I've seen and have great respect for, is I've been able to see, and we've been able to see as elected officials, time after time, the way he manages those events, the way he makes sure things get done. And if you're not in a position if you're in a position of leadership and you're not able to do the job properly, you better get out of the way, because he's going to be paying attention and he's not afraid to make the decisions. He is wise, he is disciplined, he's focused, and nobody's run a harder campaign. Craig, you're right. I do work hard in the Texas Senate. I do work hard in Austin for you, but I don't hold a stick to the governor. I don't know when he sleeps. I just know when he works, and it is all the time, and he's doing it not for himself, but he's doing it for you and for all of Texas. So what I want to do is welcome my friend, your friend, and the great leader of this great state of Texas. Help me welcome Governor Abbott.
Howdy, Fort Worth. Give it up for Kelly Hancock, the great senator. So you all here in Tarrant County, you're so blessed to have so many great legislators. It's one of the most powerful forces in the state capitol. I want to recognize not just Senator Kelly Hancock, but Senator Jane Nelson, Representative Capriglione, Representative David Cook, Representative Charlie Guerin, Representative Craig Goldman, Representative Stephanie Click. I need all of those people back in the Capitol to make sure we do your job of governing conservatively and keeping Texas on the right track. I also want to thank Eric Starnes, candidate for the criminal court, as well as a good friend of mine who's shown up in a lot of my commercials, and that is the Tarrant County Sheriff, Bill Wayborn. And then your county judge candidate, Tim O'Hare. Great to have all of them out here. And then lastly, your district attorney candidate, Phil Sorrells. We need to get all of them elected, because this election is so incredibly important. But I got good news for you here today as I show up in Tarrant County. Unequivocally, we are going to win in 2022. All this talk about, Tarrant County maybe turning blue or turning purple, it is flat out wrong. Tarrant County will remain red in 2022. And let me tell you why I can predict that with such certainty, because all we have done and what we will do for the next week, we're just going to show the contrast between the conservative policies that have made Texas #1 versus the radical leftist ideology promoted by the Democrats and Beto O'Rourke that would destroy the state of Texas. And we will not let that happen. Let me give you just one example, and that is, I know it's an issue that matters to so many people in the state, and that is jobs and the economy and the skyrocketing inflation caused by Joe Biden. Well, we happen to live in the #1 state for the economy. Texas has the #1 economy of all the states in the United States of America. And since you last re-elected me, Texas has added far more jobs than any other state in the entire country. Texas is the jobs and economy state. But listen, all of this is at risk because the policies that Beto's been trying to push, they would increase your taxes, increase spending, and that would increase inflation in our state. We cannot let that happen. I am running for re-election to keep Texas #1 for jobs and the economy. And listen, there are side effects to having a strong economy, one of which I thought I heard Kelly Hancock maybe mention, and that is because of what you all have done, Texas has, we are sitting on a $27 billion budget surplus. Now, there's a lot of people here, and there are way people in the back. I want to make sure people in the back heard what I said. Texas is sitting on a $27 billion surplus.
And listen, we'll use some of that to address our needs, such as our schools and healthcare and other things in our state. But let me ask you this: whose money is that? You're exactly right. So what I want to do is to take at least half of that money and return it to you, the taxpayers, with the largest property tax cut in the history of the state of Texas. So here again is a point of contrast between myself and Beto, because Beto is the only candidate running for governor who's actually increased property taxes. He did it 3 times when he was serving on the El Paso City Council. We do not need a governor who has raised your property taxes. If you want your property taxes cut, you need to vote Greg Abbott for governor. So one thing that it led to such a strong economy is that Texas ranks #1 in the United States of America for producing oil and gas. We are the energy state that made America energy independent. And here again, we're seeing Beto threaten that with his embrace of the radical leftist ideology of the Green New Deal that would eliminate or reduce production of oil and gas. It would eliminate hundreds of thousands of good-paying jobs of the oil and gas workers in the fields, as well as it would drive up the price that you're already paying at the pump. I am running for re-election to keep Texas the #1 state for producing oil and gas. But listen, we all know that this election is about things other than just the economy. Part of the election is about our children, and what's going on in our schools, even right here in Tarrant County, Texas. Let me tell you something: our schools are for education, not indoctrination. We got to get all this sexualization of our kids out of our schools, all the critical race theory out of our schools. We need to start educating our kids on what they need to learn, and that is get back to fundamentals: reading, writing, math, and science. Their future and our future as a country is at stake. Bottom line, there's one thing our kids need to walk away from when they leave school, and that is they need to understand 2 things. One, that the United States of America is the best country in the history of the world. 2, why we are the best country in the history of the world. And I'll tell you one reason why. I can see some people out here already, but one reason why we're the best country in the history of the world is because we've had the mightiest military in the history of the world. If there's anybody here who has served in the United States military, wave your hand so we can thank you for your service. There you go, right behind you. So listen, we're proud of all you. So listen, there's something else that matters to everybody here, and that is safety in your community. And we've seen, if you watch TV, you see communities in some parts of the country that are so incredibly unsafe, where you see these smash and grab operations. People go in and with crowbars and smash stores up and steal whatever they want to steal. And you also see crime on the rise, whether it be in LA or San Francisco or Portland, Seattle, New York, and Chicago. And wherever you see this happen, you see the same thing happen, and that is a diminishment of the role that law enforcement plays, even a defunding of law enforcement. And let me tell you something. In Texas, we don't have that attitude, because in Texas, we support our law enforcement officers, period. So we used to scoff at other states doing this until it happened in our own state when Austin defunded their police by more than $100 million. And that's why, if you go back to those legislators' names who I read off earlier, they worked with me to make sure we would not allow that to happen in Texas. They passed and I signed a law that will defund any city that defunds their police. Here again, there's great contrast between what I have done and what Beto supports. Beto has supported the ideology of defunding the police. We do not need, as a governor in Texas, anyone who defund the police. We will beat Beto, and you will keep a governor who supports our law enforcement officers. But as unsafe as it is to defund the police, there's something going on in our country and in our state. It's even more unsafe than that. And that is Biden's and the Democrats' open border policies that are importing crime into our state. So remember this. Remember this. It was just 2 years ago. We had the safest and most secure border in decades, with the fewest border crossings, and under the Biden administration in just 2 years, this past year we had the highest number of illegal crossings ever. Well, Texas has done more than any state to respond and do the federal government's job. What Texas has done, if you go back to the time of George Washington all the way till today, Texas is the only state during that time period that has built its own border wall to secure our sovereignty and to secure our state. And we have, as we gather this morning in Tarrant County, Texas, we have National Guard on the border turning back and repelling people who are trying to come into our country illegally. Give it up for the Texas National Guard. And if people make it past the National Guard, they run into the Texas Department of Public Safety, who are arresting and jailing people who are coming across the border, or either arresting and returning them back to the border. Just 2 weeks ago, they arrested a man from Honduras who was trespassing in the state of Texas, and when they booked him, they learned that there was a warrant out for his arrest for murder. Wow. We got dangerous people coming across our border. That's not the only time anything like that's happened. DPS has arrested well over 15,000 people who were wanted for crimes or had previously been arrested for crimes for felonies. And our job is to make sure we get them off the streets. Well, listen, you may have noticed that when you watch TV, there's another group of people coming across our border. They're coming in single file, and they're being assisted by cartel leaders. And they're in single file because the cartel leaders are trying to get them to a specific location on the U.S. side, a location that's owned or operated or controlled by the federal government. That's where you have Border Patrol. And here's what the cartels know, and that is, if they can get them to that federal government location, they will be able to just process their paperwork and then be set free.
That's right.
And when they're set free, they're free to go anywhere in the United States of America. And because they have such a high volume of that, and what Border Patrol does after they give them their paperwork, they drop them off in these small little towns on the border like Del Rio and Eagle Pass and so many others that have no capability whatsoever of being able to manage or control or deal with that volume of people. And so I was down there on the border in the Del Rio sector talking to the local mayors, the county judges, the sheriffs and police chiefs about what was going on and about their incapability of dealing with this. And I said, listen, I'm going to help you out. Because I said that the following week, I would begin busing all those people to Washington, D.C. So why Washington, D.C.? Two reasons. Two reasons. One is Washington, D.C. is a self-proclaimed sanctuary city. What we see all the time, and this is the best example ever, we see Democrats do nothing but virtue signal. Oh, we want to be a sanctuary city. But then when they got just a couple of hundred migrants bused to them, they started crying, saying they couldn't deal with it, calling in the president for help, the National Guard for help. But we kept sending it to it. And have you noticed we began dropping them off at a different location in Washington, D.C.? So what happened is that about a month ago, Kamala Harris was saying there's no problem on the border. She said the border was secure. And so I felt the need to be involved in the education process. And so now they are being dropped off at the residence of the Vice President of the United States of America. And then literally, so we were sending them to Washington. We were sending them only to Washington, D.C. And out of nowhere, the mayor of New York, this Mayor Adams guy, he started criticizing me for dropping them off in New York, which we were not doing. And we told him we weren't doing it, and he kept criticizing me for doing it. So I thought, you know what? If I'm going to get the criticism, I'm going to get the credit. And so they have something like, I don't know, 25,000, maybe 30,000 migrants that are in New York. And Mayor Adams is saying they need $1 billion for them to be able to deal with 25 to 30,000 migrants. Let me tell you something. If they get $1 billion for what they're dealing with, Texas deserves $1 trillion for what we are dealing with. Let me tell you something. All of this is going to change very soon, because let me tell you what's going to happen 1 week from today. 1 week from today, led by 3 Latinas running for the United States Congress down on the border. Two of whom are married to Border Patrol officers. They are going to beat Democrats for Congress, and when they go to Washington, D.C., the first thing they are going to do is to fire Nancy Pelosi as Speaker of the House. And they told me the second thing they're going to do is to reimburse Texas for all the money that we have spent trying to do the federal government's job. But listen, we got another danger on the border that you'll need to be aware of, and that is the importation of deadly fentanyl. This 2 milligrams of fentanyl is a deadly dose, and it comes from China. It goes to Mexico, where the drug cartels, they lace it onto drugs that look like valid drugs, and then they bring it in the state of Texas, and it's killing people. The leading cause of death in the United States of America right now, people ages 18 to 45, is not cancer or COVID or car wrecks. It is fentanyl. And this is a poisoning that I want to turn into a murder charge this next session. But I cannot wait until next session, because I'm tired of the drug cartels bringing deadly poison into our state. And that's why last month I declared the Mexican drug cartels as terrorist organizations, and we are going after them. So listen, as you can tell, this election is about so many different issues, and there's so much at stake, so much on the line this election. There's going to be border security on the line. There's going to be your jobs and your taxes, your safety, your freedom itself. But candidly, among all those things, there may be something even more important on the ballot, and that is your values are on this ballot. And we cannot have your values hijacked by this radical leftist ideology. And let me tell you something, maybe the most important thing I could tell you today. The winner or loser of this election is not going to be me. Yeah, exactly right. It's going to be you. Your future is on the ballot. Your family is on the ballot. Your kids are on the ballot. Your grandkids are on the ballot, and your future. You're right. But listen, we are one nation under God, and by God, we believe in God Almighty. And we cannot have God purged from our state, and we will not allow that to happen. But listen, let me tell you this, and that is, as we speak right now, Beto is trying to take a sledgehammer to your future and to replace it with his radical leftist ideology. And you know what? We are not going to let that happen. And what we're going to do 1 week from today, we are going to declare victory, and we will have beaten Beto, and we will have kept Tarrant County red and the great state of Texas red. But you know what? Well, let me tell you what. Speeches do not win elections. There's only one thing that wins elections, and that is voting. And I know there are many people here today who have already voted, and that's fantastic. But I also know there are many people here today who have not yet voted, and we need you to vote. So listen, I'm going to stop talking in 1 minute, but let me tell you the order of what needs to be done. When I stop talking, I'm going to stay here and take a picture with everybody who wants a picture. And then after that, if you have not yet voted, I need you to go vote today. Not tomorrow. You know the old saying your parents taught you, do not put off till tomorrow what you can do today. What I know you can do today, you can go vote. And I'm going to try to make it easy on you, because I have what I am told is the closest voting location to where we are right now. It's the Fort Worth Public Library, Summer Glen Branch, 4205 Basswood Boulevard. Less than 2 miles away. Listen, I could roll that far. And so we take a picture, you go vote, but then if you think that you've discharged your duty to make sure we're going to win this election, you're absolutely wrong. Because here's what you got to do after you go vote. Today, after you vote, everybody, whether you voted here yet or not, you have one other task ahead of you that I need you to do beginning today. Everybody has something in your hand or in your pocket or your purse right now. You have your phone. Many of you are holding up as we speak. You have something in your phone that I do not have in my phone. You got contacts of your friends, your co-workers, your family members. And I need each of you to go to 100 of your contacts and to text them a very simple message. Go vote for Governor Abbott today, period. So I can't see everybody here, but it looks like we may have as many as 1,000, maybe more than 1,000 people here. Get these numbers I'm about to tell you. If we have at least 1,000 people here right now, send out 100 texts, we will be able to reach 100,000 voters and get them out to vote. That will make a big difference. But remember this fact, and that is when you send that text message today, people are not going to respond to it. They may ignore it. That's why you got to do it today, tomorrow, the next day, and every single day all the way till November the 8th. And you got to keep doing it until you get a reply that has a picture on it saying I voted and they had the I vote sticker on it, or until you get a reply text that says something like, if you ever text me again. But only those two ways will show that you've done your duty. And when you do your duty, and when we win and keep Tarrant County red on election night, I will tell the world that we won because of what the people in Tarrant County did right here today. So God bless you all. God bless Texas, and we will keep Texas red.
Hey folks, we'll be starting a photo line behind the right speaker. Please form a line.